Corelli, the desk and chat entrenched about as much as the teams are, I'd say.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I think everyone watching this series, the set that we've had so far, glued to their screens a final best of 7 here in the Fall Classic for North America. Envy and G2 Esports going at it. And what has been an instant classic here in North America.
An instant classic at the Fall Classic. We couldn't have asked for much more. Atomic. Stopped out, missed. Going for a pinch. Didn't get much on it. Does get the boost steal, however. Envy starting off on the right foot. Turbo to missed. Has that deflect off the ceiling. Atomic. Looking to make something happen.
And we saw in so many games before the goal line defense from Envy. It hasn't been pretty on defense from Envy, but they've come up clutch when they've needed it. That's how they've earned this final best of 7 here in this set. But G2's offense, they have just looked phenomenal on another level. We talked about that a few times now, James. Can they turn it on one more time here against this Envy squad who have been clutch all the way through?
They have been, and even G2 in the first series clutching up. And it's tough to believe that one team has to win and one team has to lose. This series feels like it will go on for eternity.
It feels unfair.
A battle of immortals.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it's a battle of two teams that are just so evenly matched. Here's a shot. It's weak from JNaps. Chicago wants another one. It's turned away. Now an opportunity for Mist, and he tried to pop it up over Drees. Not going to work for him now. Atomic gets over one. Defense gets back for G2.
You saw the fake into the 50. Turbo was thinking JNaps was going to hit it. Ended up flying by the challenge. Envy putting on all the pressure so far, but Mist committed on that as well. Turbo off to the wall. Atomic looking for the pass. JNaps broke up the lane.
G2 not really holding on to the ball currently. A lot of touches are straight back down, like that one, into the hands of Envy. Here's Turbo. Over to Atomic. He'll just pop it up. That pass converging too far out in front. Ooh, that's a great shot from Mist. Back post. Oh, it rings off the elbow. Here's Atomic looking for another one. JNaps, he'll just pop it up. Drees slow to get to this one, so Turbo will come through. Envy knocking on the door here, as Mist will pop it by one defender, Drees, to try and clean it up.
Oh.
And he will push it downfield.
And that corner boost spawned on top of Drees, who was slow to get to that ball before because he was running on fumes. Atomic, flip reset around Chicago. Oh, everyone committed, but Mist would get back in time. Catches it on the dribble.
Oh, he's got no boost to hold on to it. Atomic for the with the demo. Still JNaps, that's a quality shot on target. Mist has to make up for it. Able to turn it away. Envy not letting G2 spread them out. Here's another one coming off the sidewall, and no one from G2 pushed up far enough. And Atomic will play it off to Mist. See what he can do with it off the sidewall. Looking for some space. Pops it up with no boost. Nobody there from Envy. It was too direct. Here's another pot shot from Turbo. And Chicago will get out.
That team bump almost putting G2 in an awkward spot. Now bounce down, Turbo to his own corner. G2 looking to get some offense going of their own. Back pass all the way to Drees. JNaps controlling. Chicago with some help. It'll pinch hard. Drees committed.
Oh,
it's a double. Is this going in?
It's
it bounces off the post, and Mist will secure it.
And I called it out. I said, here comes Drees. He was the last man. He had to make that tackle. And he didn't get there fast enough. And it's an easy tap in for Envy.
The only goal of the game happening on a double commit from G2. G2.
Game one of every series has been a one-goal game. That might change right here. Drees backflips. Still has an opportunity. Everyone whiffing. And missed, eventually pinching it off the roof of Drees to get out for Envy.
J-Naps trying to keep it alive. A miss from Atomic will keep it alive.
Their chance.
Drees into an air dribble. Missed. Will jump over the bump attempt from Chicago. Pass over to the side. Turbo looking for one more. Drees off his own backboard.
Oh my.
And that touch from Chicago was not what the doctor ordered. And now Envy will take the first game of the final series in this best of set.
Envy able to etch out a win here over G2. It's a long, long road though, James. We know how this series has gone before. Obviously 2 best of 7s, but even when you feel like one team gets the advantage over the other side just seems to come back into it. Here for G2, this was not their best game. A little slow, a little lackluster on offense. The defense, I would also say a little slow as well. So coming out slow out the gates for G2, honestly. And a big mistake from Drees was the difference maker.
Yeah, in that double commit, like you said, the difference maker. But Envy, you know, just looking back on today, all 4 series they've played today, they have won game 1. So I think the real question is, how will game 2 go?
It's a given that Envy must win the first game. But how do G2 respond? That's the question. Can they find that offense once again? It wasn't there in the previous game. Great pass out to Atomic. Can he give it back? He does. Mist got to climb the ladder here, and he gets a little tiny flick on. The speed of Envy is just outpacing G2 at the moment. Here comes Chicago, trying to change that. A second touch, down and away. Atomic again makes the save. He's been incredible on the goal line for Envy.
I mean, what's even the point of shooting when Atomic's in net? It's just not going to go in.
And maybe G2 have learned that. Because my goodness, the man has been unstoppable. Here's Turbo. Not the best clear. Chicago looking for help. J-Naps was there. He couldn't get over it.
Atomic with possession by 1. Chicago wraps it up the wall, and now Turbo back over to Atomic. Back pass to Mist. Mist low on boost. Finds Turbo in traffic. Chicago will deflect it off to his own corner.
There's the
breakout
pass.
attempt. Nice passing. J-Naps will receive it. Air dribble ball, wanted to go for the dunk. You even saw Drees on the other side of the field. More passing was an option.
Trying to push Envy players out of the way as well, chasing them into their own net. But Envy have done a really good job of preventing the demos coming out from G2. They're trying to get that physical game going just a little bit, especially when a player is behind the ball in an air dribble. G2 sending players towards the net to bump people out of the way. Here's a far post shot, just a bit wide of the frame. And now Mist to turn it around for Envy. Still scoreless through 2 minutes here in game 2.
And Atomic happily bringing this one back. Finds Mist on the counter. Atomic, instead of going for the boost steal, opts to try to get the center ball. And now Mist. Oh, the boost spawns just in time. That was a fortunate boost spawn for Mist, and it's allowing Envy to stay in this one.
Feels like a very delicate approach from both sides here. Nobody overcommitting. We know how much this series means to both teams. It's been so close throughout. And now in the final best of 7, it seems like the play has really slowed down on both sides. Not really pushing too hard here, especially when we're tied up.
It's almost like the later rounds of a boxing match.
Yeah.
The guard is up.
I mean, you can even look at the previous game. Just one mistake separated these teams. G2 overcommitting on that attack in game 1. This time they've got their act together. Chicago has to make the save. He does. 1:45 left on the clock. Atomic fighting for it in the G2 corner. JKnaps won't chase after it. Dries with a big clear down the sideline. We'll get some space here for G2 on the Envy side.
A demo on Mist in the corner. Chicago. Now JKnaps. Low boost for Atomic as well. This could be G2's chance. Chicago. Off the backboard. JKnaps lets Atomic hit it into him. The 50 pinch will go all the way back to G2's corner.
Wow.
Turbo relieving so much pressure with that play.
Get a jail-free card there. And now the net's open on the G2 side, but Envy couldn't get back to it in time. Here's Atomic, 1-2 on the flip resets. G2, that ball given away by JKnaps. He had options with Dries into the Envy corner. Now Atomic, into the sky he goes, gets the bump, Turbo doesn't connect, one more for Mist if he can find it. Dries makes a huge save on the goal line, still threatening here as Turbo couldn't get around it. Envy that close, 9 shots to their name, and they can't break through.
And a little bit of payback from G2 for the goal line defense Envy's been putting up. Atomic pushing to the backboard, doesn't have boost for the double. Mist comes in to clean up. And it's cleared off to the side.
Another chance for Envy. That one a little less. Not able to break through. Atomic doesn't get the touch. Mist will play it out, but it's pushed away by Dries. Still tied up. 10 seconds left. Chicago trying to center it for his squad. Won't happen. Here comes Atomic. Can he steal this one away by himself? He's got no boost. The shot from Mist. It's high. Turbo goes. An opportunity here for Envy in 0-second time, and it'll drop in front of the G2 net.
Scary for G2. Trying to prevent themselves from going down 0-2 in the series. Turbo over to Atomic. Atomic again. Oh, that gets away from him. JKnaps with a chance. Turbo had the backboard covered. Chicago with a demo on Atomic. First touch control for Dries. Dries, the air dribble, gets bumped up to Chicago, over to JKnaps, but JKnaps can't get around it. And Envy fight again.
Potentially spoiled opportunity there for G2. They were doing a good job of bumping Envy players around. But now, Envy threatening. And weirdly enough, in overtime, G2, they've averaged over 11 shots coming in to today in the regional, and they've only up to 4 here through 5 minutes, now 6 minutes of gameplay. So well under their average. Envy doing a really good job of making sure G2 don't have so many chances.
Double commit. Dries overpowered by Mist. JKnaps to Chicago. It's a nice ball. Chicago wanted to get the backboard rebound, and then now Atomic wasn't able to get that touch. Mist racing to it. Dries challenged by Mist. Comes back to Dries, who puts it into the middle for JKnaps. JKnaps leaves it for Chicago. The shot towards net saved by Atomic.
That was a great call off there from Chicago. JKnaps wasn't going to generate a lot of power on it. And Chicago was hightailing it towards the ball. Now without a boost, he needs help from his team, Dries, to blast it downfield to see what sticks against Envy.
Nice pass from Turbo over to Atomic. Atomic, that fake. Making things difficult for G2, but JKnaps finds a pass to Chicago. The catch shut down. JKnaps sending it back in. Dries has JKnaps in the middle, but JKnaps can't go. Atomic, hard hit right at Dries. JKnaps in Envy's corner. Mist, clear out to Chicago. Weak hit again from Mist. JKnaps trying to catch it, but Turbo was jumping the lane.
Great touch here from Atomic, and a good read on the play just to slow it down. Now he's out of boost, relying on his teammates to make the save. The pass over to Dries. It's good for G2, and they tie it up.
Dries, he was waiting patiently, and his patience plays out perfectly. Chicago finding him, and G2 tying up the series. Corelli, Wavepunk said it on the desk. We have not seen 21 games yet. We might see it here.
A first OT win here for G2. And they come out on top with that shot for Dries. And in a game where they've had reduced chances against Envy, I pointed it out earlier, they had to play a lot of defense. They weren't getting the opportunities that they were afforded in previous games and previous series. They came out with 7 in the end, 7 shots. But a lot of saves were required for G2 to stay into this. A story that is very familiar for Envy.
I mean, it just keeps playing out over and over again. This has been a battle of epic proportions. G2 and Envy, back and forth, back and forth. The first series, the second series, now the third series, playing neck and neck. You can't ask for more as a fan of the game.
So we sit here tied up in game 3. A final best of 7, 1 apiece. Each team trading blows here. Like you said, it's like a boxing match late round here. And Chicago, oh, he's still got a little bit left in the tank. Look at that shot to drop it in for G2.
And who was last back? It looked like Turbo. Thrown off by that touch. Turbo too far into the center of the net. And Chicago, like you said, Corelli, a late punch, still has some gas left in the tank.
Now G2, they got to play a little bit of defense here. Oh, hold on. That's a great shot from Mist. They're able to get that overtime winner in game 2. Now into the lead. Can they hold on against the Envy defense that has been tough to crack? And the offense ramping up.
Both defenses tough to crack. You even saw that save from Dries on the play where both players missed. It was a follow-up shot. Dries denying the top corner. Both defenses making things immensely hard. Chicago, weak hit, but not the best touch. Envy gonna find themselves on the back foot. Chicago up.
Wow.
Flip reset. Atomic able to graze it off to the corner. What's Turbo gonna do here? Oh, the demo. Turbo!
Whoa! Oh, he got it!
Finishes!
Oh, that was incredible from Turbo. He had the flip off the post, and then Atomic was rotating out. He already got the first demo, tried to chase the last man, and instead rewarded with a goal with the backflip. Envy able to tie it up.
Turbo saving his flip reset flip the longest that you probably could have and still gotten away with it. And that was the right call. Turbo, although he didn't score, generated that chance. Backboard bounce. Chicago into the middle. JNaps back to the corner. JNaps again staying on it, trying to hover behind the ball, but he's out of boost. Will have to retreat. Now it's up to Dries to make the stop, and he will by plenty of time, and pinches it up the sideline.
Oh my. Turbo had to scoop that one out, and here comes JNaps. It wasn't the best touch. Missed. Will cleared away. Now Dries drops it down to Chicago. Back post shot. Missed again, called upon to make the save. His 4th here at halftime. And keeping this one tied up.
Chicago taking the 50 with Atomic. Atomic bumping, stealing boost, being a nuisance. Chicago testing the backboard defense. Atomic first touch and a second touch out to the corner. Missed. Running on empty. Boost does spawn for him, though. Dries in position to attack. Off the corner. Chicago coming in. It's a light hit. JNaps was ready for the rebound or the pass.
Oh, good touch. Turbo wants a piece of the defense here. G2 have to get up. They do. JNaps can't get a second touch. Dries expected it. Full boost again for JNaps, and at least meets the challenge of Atomic. But now Mist takes to the sky. I think wanted to get under Chicago, but Chicago read him all the way, and G2 stopping Envy at every mark.
Hard self-pass attempt. Intercepted by JNaps. JNaps going for goal. JNaps staying on it and denied. Again, the goal line defense from Envy is superhuman.
That is unreal. How do they keep getting away with it, James? How do they keep making the save?
I have no idea. I just know not to doubt Envy. Oh, the late flick from Mist. Turbo hunting for it. Envy's goal line defense has been an impressive of an effort that we've ever seen on the goal line.
That clutch factor again for Envy is just so huge for them. When the defense, it hasn't really been beautiful from them, but they've been able to clutch it up and make the saves. Now 20 seconds left. They're going to need to make another one here. Here comes Drees and a light touch laterally across the Envy side. Will help out Envy to move downfield. Here comes Mist. Boost to work with. We'll just pop it up. Drees, he's picked on to go. And Chicago, big clear downfield. Can Drees get after it? He doesn't have the boost to. Throws out a fake. Gets bumped around a little bit, and that one will go down. Another overtime between Envy and G2.
2 game 7s in 2 series, and in series 3, the 7th overtime.
Wow.
Turbo, a nice win. This will bounce out to Mist with space. Turbo wanted to go for it. Now pinched off to the side. Turbo demo. And the touch, that was smart from Turbo. Now the shot from Mist.
Oh,
Bar down! Mist wins it for Envy.
What a shot from Mist! The first touch to set himself up. He gets back after it, and the flick on the crossbar and down. It got a little help from JNaps as well. And Envy back on top.
And they've gotten the better of G2 in most of these overtimes, Corelli. What is that? 6 out of the 7 overtimes being won by Team Envy.
Yeah, G2 didn't win their first overtime till this series. And so Envy coming out on top again. And we have to reiterate the defensive measures that Envy have taken here to prevent G2 from getting probably game-winning, or at least, go-ahead goals. It's insane. Look at that save from Turbo. It was shot directly into him, but he still had to make that save. And Envy holding on in so many of these games throughout this set. It is a clinic on how to be clutch on the goal line.
At G2, it's no shocker that they've got the best offense out there, the highest scoring players leading the way, throwing up so many goals per game, yet it's not enough to break through this Envy squad on the goal line. Envy making save after save after save, but G2 has done it enough to get to this point. A best of set, the final series. It's been back and forth. Right now in game 4, Envy have the lead 2-1. Can G2 tie things back up?
Probably. I mean, let's just be honest with the way this set's been going. Probably.
I would say most likely.
Yeah. It's just the way this series and this set has to go. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Envy just came out and really started to take the reins of this set late. When a championship's on the line, Envy looking to step up. And Turbo, he wants it. Again, both these teams obviously already qualified for LAN, but a win would be that much sweeter here in the Fall Classic.
And also, for Turbo and for Envy, getting a big win like this. They've won regionals before, whereas G2, they haven't. And Mist, showing you why Envy's got what it takes. The first goal of the game.
And you knew Mist was going to put this one away as soon as Drees missed. The great first touch there for Mist, taking his time. Didn't have to bang it immediately. Takes his first touch, taps it into net. And the first minute, Envy back on top.
G2. You're going to have to dig deep. They've been in this situation before, Corelli. Atomic. Air dribble out. We'll stay with it. Getting in the way of Chicago. Now Drees, the pinch up. Turbo downfield, missed, chasing after Chicago. Chicago hard hit to JNAPS. JNAPS booming it for the backboard. But Atomic, when he's the last one back, your odds aren't that good for a rebound.
Certainly not, at least not through this set. G2 are gonna have to get a little bit more creative. Now they got Turbo. Oh, the far post shot. He just can't get there in time. Beautifully placed from Drees.
What a scorcher. Taking time, wrapping around that ball. 78 miles an hour, and you can't place it better. Drees tying things up for G2.
G2 able to come back into this one. And that's the offense that we expect from G2. Great pass out and a quality shot to put things away. It seems like the offense is fading, and now a couple demos open things up for Mist. JNAPS does get back in time, but the defense a little disorganized here from G2. Full boost for Mist. Can't get by JNAPS. And coming up on halftime, we stay knotted.
Atomic wanted to 50 it. Turbo. And now JNAPS, long clear. We've seen so many boom ball clears. Now a hit up to Atomic, and normally Atomic's connecting on those.
Yeah.
Had enough boost to make the hit. Rare miss.
But the way Atomic's been playing today, that's probably the biggest mistake he's made all set long. He's been rock solid. And that's saying something for the bar of Atomic.
I mean, when you've played as many games as we have, Corelli.
Yeah. Nobody's
mistakes
perfect.
are unavoidable, yeah.
Even for Atomic, who at times seems like a robot with how consistent he is. Defensively and offensively. Here comes Turbo, looking for two, does get it. But we'll pinch it out for G2. Missed up, climbing high, wants to knock it down. Drees does a good job of standing his ground, and G2 get to the other side.
Drees having a half flip back. Turbo. As the ball sneaked through him, Drees finally bailing out of the play. Pinch out to the middle. JNAP's there. Weak hit. Missed. Wanted to find Atomic, who commits hard. Low boost for him. He'll be slow back. Numbers advantage for G2. What'll Chicago do with it?
Oh.
He'll get denied from Mist.
Oh, now Mist, an opportunity. No one's home. Can he find the angle? He will. And Envy take the lead. They turn it around on G2.
And that's been the NVMO. Make a big save, turn it around, and score on the counter.
When we spoke to Garrett on first touch, he said that's exactly how Envy want to play. Defensively minded, and then the counter attack. You have to be oh so careful when they move down the field. And he's been right. That has been the bread and butter for Envy here in this series, especially with the pressure they've faced against G2, and they're going to face some here. As Mist has to make a save, a good pass out to Chicago from G2, but not able to put it home. Less than a minute to go.
And that was the right call, going for that pass. A nice block from Atomic. Chicago pinch attempt. Drees beats Turbo to the ball. Missed off his own backboard. Staying with it. Flip reset towards net. JNAPS pushing it high. Turbo tapping it back down to the corner. Final 30 seconds. G2 still trailing.
Oh. I don't think Mist trusted him. I think Mist kind of hesitated. He didn't think Atomic was going to have the pass. Mist definitely saw it. But with 20 seconds left, Envy looking to hold on.
Drees around one. Didn't get the double. Chicago backwards hit. Drees misses open net. Mist will launch it in, and the game will be secured for Envy.
Mist a hat trick, and he's the only one to score and the only one to shoot here for Envy. And some forced blunders coming out from G2, or rather they were forcing it against Envy and just couldn't get a hold of the ball. G2 now so close to winning this set before. They've been in this position before as well in the previous regional. Now have to battle back with backs against the wall here against the machine.
And how will G2 cope with being behind in the series at this point? Both series wins for Envy were comeback series. Envy in the last series winning 2 overtimes in a row to force this. Envy showing that they have the grit and determination to fight through adversity, and now the table has been flipped.
And maybe
can G2 do the same that Envy has been able to force where we're at right now, Corelli?
And maybe the gap getting wider here for Envy and G2, the first time in the last 8 games that a game between these two wasn't just a 1-goal difference. Up 2 goals here for Envy. It's been so close all the way through, but now you can see Envy gaining not only the lead in the game, but in the series. And it's the best they've looked really through the set.
It really has been. And just looking at what the task that's ahead of G2, they cannot lose anymore. To think back and imagine G2 would be in this position, it's a bit unbelievable. The back and forth that we've seen this series has been almost heartbreaking just for any fans out there, whether you're an Envy or a G2 fan. It is you've been on an emotional roller coaster, and that ride's about to come to an end.
I'm right there with them. I'm not going to lie. For both sides, this has been an emotional roller coaster, not just for G2 now, but for Envy early on. And so for Envy to overcome, I think that mental hurdle, especially when backs have been against the wall in game 7s twice now, Envy have been able to battle back. Now 1 game away from taking down G2, the machine, looking for their first regional win here in RLCS. They got to go through G2 one more time.
Turbo gets faked out by Chicago, went low. Chicago bumping Atomic as well. JNAPS out to the middle, miss the passing play to net, off the post and out. Atomic gets blocked on the follow-up attempt. Scoring chance early for Envy will go by the wayside.
The 4th man coming out for G2, but they're still feeling pressure. The fake from Atomic tries to throw another one. Quickly out the gates are Envy. But G2 are able to hold on, whether it's with the frame or them, the cars themselves. Prevent Envy here in the first minute.
G2 out of lives. A position that Envy was all too familiar with last series. G2 find themselves in the same spot. Oh, Drees getting bumped after that first hit. Atomic opting to punch it high. Turbo, the flip reset. Won't stay on it.
Good bump. Now Atomic. Oh,
he's hovering behind the ball.
He'll take the tackle in that corner. And now G2 Chicago wants Atomic. Atomic still dodges the demo and gets a hold of the ball, buys enough time for Turbo to get back.
You saw the chess match playing out in front of us. Atomic knew where G2 wanted to move the pieces. Drees. Atomic got the touch, but it's dangerous now. JNAP's back to the ground. Drees racing in. The flick, he gets it by Mist, who was caught flat-footed on the goal line.
A couple of strange touches here. JNAPS, I think, didn't want to take the shot because he didn't want to give it away. And then Drees just comes through, picks it up, and flicks it to the far side. G2 on the board first.
And if Drees has not earned your respect for this G2 roster spot, I don't think there's anything he could do that would change your mind. Drees, an excellent performance, all Fall Classic long. Drees, another low 50, missed off to the side. Turbo trying to wrap around it, but JNAPS stole the ball. Ground pinch potentially.
He wanted the fake there. G2 still trying to threaten the offense, but Envy will turn it around. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes here for G2 to hold on. But Envy not going to go quietly. Here's an opportunity for Atomic. Drees doesn't connect, but neither does Atomic. Bailed out by the whiff there for the G2 defense. Drees. Well, he'll clear to the sideline, but only as far as Atomic, who has just been working G2 with the possession. It'll be finally cleared by Chicago. Missed. We'll get a light touch. It comes out to Drees. Another shot prevented there by Turbo.
Wonder if Envy's starting to get a little nervous. They've had some good looks, Corelli. Ones you thought they'd score. Haven't been able to close it out. G2 maintaining the lead. Drees, the shot.
Oh!
Bar down on the goal line. Turbo will get it out.
Surgical from Turbo to keep that one out. And now Envy having to hold on because you know more's coming from G2. And they do get the long clear out.
The goal line is sacred grounds for Envy. Missed. Upfield. Atomic couldn't break up the play. Chicago going for his second effort. Under a minute left. Drees. And now J-Naps into Chicago. Chicago dropping it back down. Cut off by Atomic. A long clear. Drees trying to push that over to the corner. J-Naps in a 1v1 situation. Stopped by Mist.
What a challenge from Mist. Coming up on 30 seconds. Envy, they need one to tie it up. Chicago not going to let them have it. That's a decent pass. G2 very careful there to not overcommit.
Missed. Beating out Chicago. Drees, awkward ball. Atomic there. Turbo up. Be blocked out. Oh, the light touch. It's going to prevent Mist from following up. Envy have to go the full field. Not enough boost for Atomic to keep working with. Has to get bailed out by Mist. Turbo keeping it alive for now. Back to the corner. Atomic's shot is low. And G2 stay alive once more, Corelli.
I looked over there right at the end as the ball touched the ground. I looked at Envy, and they all kind of sat up in their chair. They shook it off. They're kind of rounding their shoulders a little bit. They know they're in for it. G2 not going to go quietly here as they try and battle back here in Game 6.
Not going to go quietly indeed. This has been loud and boisterous from both teams. G2 with their back to the wall. Do what Envy did and keep their hopes alive in the Fall Classic. Game 6 guaranteed. But I know the question on top of everyone's minds is, will we see a third Game 7?
That is the question, and regardless if we do or not, this is officially the longest RL Esports match ever, with 20 games so far between Envy and G2.
And if G2 has it their way, it'll be 21. Turbo leading the charge. Atomic. Had that go high. Missed. Comes in and shot it right at Drees. Rebound up to Turbo and off the corner. Envy getting looks again, but they shot that one right at Drees.
Oh, good touch, Turbo. Here comes the shot. Been a little quiet here for Turbo. He's been asking for the ball. And Envy, they need him the most right now. You certainly don't want to go to Game 7. You want to close it out here if you're Envy. And for Envy,
in the interview, Corelli, Turbo said, "Give me the ball."
Right. And to be fair, he's lived up to that here in this regional. Top goal scorer, top shooting percentage. He's been incredible. But stats, they're very reactive. They just show what you've done. Can he do it here in this series, in this game, and what could be the final game of this set?
Missed. Low 50, out of boost. Trying to keep it going. Drees marches upfield. But Atomic there to stop the flick. Turbo to Mist. Mist to Atomic. Atomic will deflect that. Turbo has to get out. Low on boost. decides to stay in the midfield, will get the challenge. Chicago popping it over Mist. Atomic, awkward ball. Turbo with some time. Drees doesn't get the demo. Huge pinch from Turbo.
Wow.
Backward bounce to Atomic. It skips up high. Unconventional play there from Envy, and it almost worked out.
And they're smart too. When it got awkward, they just backed off, let G2 play with it, and it's fallen back into Envy's hands a couple times now. Here's Mist preventing G2 on the out. Drees will eventually find some space as he'll flick it on. Oh my goodness, Chicago! What was that?
Chicago, with no room to work with, puts his elbows out and finds a way.
Mist was right there too, but just didn't make the save. Chicago just pokes it right by. And G2 up by 1 with half a game to play.
Bar down and out. Atomic couldn't make it bump. Still a rebound. Ball loose in front of net, picked up by Drees. Another dribble. Drees the flick. Got Atomic's head. Drees does it again for G2.
The transition for G2 works out perfectly here. A little bit of boost for Drees to work with, and Atomic was racing back to try and make the stop. But Drees had him dead to rights. 2-0 now for G2.
G2, they're surging. Chance now for Envy. Chicago was able to tip it. Another play from Chicago, forcing it upfield. Chicago doing everything he can to keep the ball out of Envy's hands. Turbo blocked out by Drees. Missed up to Atomic. Atomic back down. The give and go looks good. But again, broken up. The pass behind Drees. Still makes the most of it. The ball bounces through. Confusion from Envy.
I think even Drees was shocked that he still had that ball. And JNAP's running out of boost. Chicago at least touches it to his corner. Miss plays it across. Here comes Atomic. Didn't cross in front of the net quite yet. Time becoming a factor here for Envy in Game 6. They have one more game to give, but they certainly don't want to. As G2 are just fighting defensively to keep Envy out.
Missed. Punting it down the middle. Is Envy running out of ideas? G2 setting the pace, up by 2. Less than a minute left to go. The scoreline remains the same. We will go to the final game, the 21st game in a 7-game best of set series. I never thought I'd see it.
Oh, what a save. And it's been incredible play, James. And realistically, it should be this way with the way both these teams have played. It's been so close. Game 7 after Game 7. Close goal line save after close goal line save. G2 just need 15 more seconds. And they force the final Game 7 here in this set.
And that is the reality. Time ticking away. G2 battling back from being down in the series. And we're going to be going to yet another Game 7.
And it's crazy to even say it like that because G2 had played so well early on between the first 2 best of 7s. They looked so solid. Obviously, they both went the distance, but there were a lot of games where we just felt like G2 were all over Envy. They're able to come back here in this one, and that's good work. Envy have certainly slowed down, but you really got to think about this one, James, when you go into a Game 7 in the 21st game, like you mentioned, the longest RL Esports match ever. What is going to come out? Who is going to step up? Is it going to be Turbo? Is it going to be Drees? Is it going to be Chicago's offense to shine? That's really the question. Who steps up when it matters most?
And Corelli, it's series like these where reputations are made. History is made with series like this, matches like this, and plays like we've seen. Turbo, he has built his reputation on being the clutch player in the world, the 4-time. But G2, with young gun Drees, have been trying to fight their way to the top of North America, and they can do it with just one game win. And this, Corelli, you said I had to think. I don't think I have enough energy in my brain left to think about what's going on. It's just primal from this point on.
Yeah, it's just raw reaction at this point. You got to think about the players as well. They're the ones who have been sitting down there playing for so long. I mean, we started this, so long ago, 2 hours ago. It's Game 7 presented by Verizon in the Fall Classic. One more for Envy and G2. We've got to find a winner here, James.
The 3rd time in this series we have been on Champions Field. And if you thought players would be nervous before, I can't imagine the pressure they must be feeling now.
We're not even at LAN yet.
But this is a nice starter, an entry course. And Chicago, net's open, and he'll do it. The first goal coming to Chicago from a lovely first touch.
Atomic went a little deep, and it just went straight out to Chicago. And like you said, a beautiful first touch to beat the last man. No way Atomic gets back in time. Chicago to put G2 up first.
Now we'll see truly what Envy are made of. Missed. Slow play. Drees hard off the backboard. Atomic making the read, but out of boost. Pinch off the ceiling. Chicago looking for Drees. Cut up by Mist. Another hard bounce. Mist. Use the handbrake. Turns and passes to Turbo. The bounce high. Drees dumps it. Caught by Mist. Chicago goes high on the challenge. Wrapped around by Turbo. A U-turn from Chicago off the wall. Atomic booms it downfield.
G2 looking for that mistake again from Envy. Very calculated with what they've been doing with the ball. Missed. Oh, I don't know if he meant to do that. Let that one just go off the wall. Atomic bailed him out. The quick reaction there.
Oh, and the team bump as well. The nerves perhaps coming out for Envy. They're trailing. Approaching that halfway point of the game. G2 scoring early. Happy to just defend. Atomic looking for Turbo. Turbo beat by a mile by Drees.
It's been over 12 minutes since we've seen Envy score. It wasn't since the end of Game 4 that we've seen Envy score. And that's credit to G2. They've done a great job here, in the midfield especially. But Turbo, he's clearing out that midfield. G2 still keep a hold of it. For now, JNap's just got to go by Turbo, and he can't do it. Turbo will jump in front, and halfway through, Envy trying to battle back.
Oh, Chicago hunting for the bump. Atomic had to jump early, and he makes the save. Atomic, in an almost hopeless situation, recognizing early that he had to jump. Atomic's defense has kept Envy in it quite a few times this series, but they need some offense. Who will it come from? A miss from Mist. That could have been the game. Another tap
shot. Not a single shot coming out from Envy. We've seen this before. They've got to get something going, and it could be missed here. It will register as a shot, but it wasn't anything dangerous. Atomic trying to play with it with Turbo Pulse, so they are moving it around, but JNaps will happily just walk that one out for G2. A weak clear comes out from Mist. Maybe Drees. Can he get a hold of it? He can. Atomic gets up. Envy looking for something here. Under a minute and a half to go. Atomic again will dive. Mist up into the sky, trying to get back to it.
Pinch.
Looking for the pinch. Not going to happen. G2 all over Envy on their attempts towards the net.
Clear out to Mist. Mist.
Oh.
Wanted the Musty. Oh, it still gets the 50. Now it's the home stretch for G2. The final minute. Atomic. It's Mist. Mist to the side wall. Chicago up the sideline. A demo on by JNaps. And now Chicago dribbling, flicking. And Turbo hits it safely to the corner.
30 seconds remain. G2 holding on to their 1-goal lead. It's been 21 games of professional Rocket League. Somebody's got to go home a winner, and that's a long clear out from G2. 15 seconds remain. Turbo's trying to fight through the midfield, but G2 stops him.
Countless overtimes in this series. Will we see another? Or will G2 win it in regulation?
This is it.
Mist.
He's
out
got
of
nothing.
boost. He's got nothing. G2 win it. They're your full classic champions.
They've battled back. You can see the sigh of relief. Chicago throwing the head at the wall. Dries letting the air in through his lungs, taking probably his first breath that he's had in maybe a couple hours. Matthew, pure elation for G2 to come out on top.
Yeah, head in your head in your hands. You gotta just take a moment to breathe. Sathu, I mean, this was a historic series, Corelli. The fight we saw out of both teams, there were moments where I thought it was over for Envy. I thought it was over for G2.
Wow.
But it wasn't decided until the final 21st game in this best of set.
21 games, 124 minutes and 30 seconds of gameplay between Envy and G2, and we finally decide a winner.
That was unbelievable. The first goal and the game-winning goal coming from Chicago, that first touch controlling it. And then from then on, Envy was playing catch-up, and they just could not do it. Envy's goal line defense, Corelli, I was thinking this might be one of those, and it still is, one of the most impressive goal line defensive performances that we've seen. Envy, even to get to this point, to even have a chance to win it, had to make miraculous defensive stops, and they were able to do it. It was their offense in the end that let them down against G2.
It really was. And for an offense that had been doing so well up until that point, it's a shame to see Envy go that way. But 3 best of 7s, you got to clutch up. And for G2, they certainly did.
That was one of, if not the best Rocket League match I've ever seen, because these best of sets are new. We haven't seen too many of them. And it's going to be hard to do a better one than that, Corelli. But to break it all down, we're going to head back to the desk.
First off, I'd like to commend those two for making it through.
Oh my God.
The longest RLCS match in RLCS history there. Just
2
finished.
hours.
Just concluded. And I'd also like to commend the geniuses on the desk over here, on this side over here. That's this side, right?
Imagine
It is
picking
this side.
Envy. That is insane to me. I hadn't planned on. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. It went the whole
Envy's
distance.
real
not
problem
even close. All right?
is 2 regionals in a row now. They lose the 3-1 lead in the last
The
series.
Chiefs, you
Imagine
almost
dropping
Oh,
a
man.
3-1 lead. Not only did they drop a 3-1 lead in this series, they got to that 3rd win and they didn't score for the rest of the series. And our G2 took them out all 3 of the games without letting them in another goal. Mike, it was. I've never. Okay, if you go to Liquipedia, you have to now scroll sideways on the match recap bar to see all of the game, all the game tabs for the VOD.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is insane.
I mean, can we just talk about Dries though for a
real.
second here? I mean, that man absolutely popped off and exceeded expectations. We look at this highlight reel. Look at how many amazing plays this man was able to make by himself. And then in the game 7, the first touch from Chicago to control the ball, get past that defender, and then have a wide open net. It was flawless. They went the distance and they had the stamina to win.
And
Well-
way to bounce back too. I mean, you go from, you know, a lot of people having questions of whether you should even keep the guy on the roster. And, and then you end up winning the final regional before the major. So yeah, you got to admire the tenacity to turn that around and earn a lot of people's respect here.
To talk about it, Turtle just mentioned him. We got to bring him on the line now. I got word, and we got Chicago on the line, now a part of, well, not a part of, he's been a part of G2, but it's G2, your Fall Classic champions here. Head in the hands, Chicago. You can't believe it. It's been a while since you guys got a tournament. This must feel really good.
It's been so long, man.
Really long.
God. It's been so long since we've won anything. It's just, sorry about the phone if you need that, but it's been so long. I don't even know like what this feels like, but I'm just so happy.
And I mean, you battled through 124 minutes of gameplay. What do you do? Obviously, we had the breaks between the series, but besides that, how do you stay fresh in the longest game of RLCS we've ever seen? How do you stay fresh?
I mean, we went to 19 games with NRG last championships or whatever, and I guess that prepared us, but I've honestly never felt something like that where it's game 7 every time. And like, I don't even think like I've felt this tired, like mentally. This is a different level of like exhaustion than I felt, but I just can't say anything but thanks to Envy to like, that was one of the best series of all time, I think. And like, I'm so happy to share it with them. And like, they're such a good team. I'm so happy that we get to see each other at Sweden again.
In game 7 overtime of series 2, you're one goal away for being done for the day, and you lose that one. You have to regain for another series. Like, what goes through your mind in that moment?
Nothing but pain. That game 6 and that game in 6 and 7. I mean, like I've never seen a better defender in my world than Atomic, and like Envy in general. Envy's known for that, but Atomic, like I think we were just like hats off, I guess. But we knew like with all those chances that we're like, okay, the good news is we don't got to change stuff. But it really took us some time to get back into that series. We went down 3-1, and like the resilience we showed, I'm so proud.
Well, it's been quite a day today, but you know that leaves obviously what's ahead. And how do you guys prepare for the major? Study up on Europe, you know, just keep grinding the game for yourselves. How do you get ready for Sweden?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but we're definitely going to try and boot camp in G2's offices in Berlin or maybe Sweden, depending about that. But like, you know, we're going to take some much needed little couple days off. But we're going to, whenever it comes down to boot camp time, like this tournament will be behind us. There'll be good momentum going into Sweden, but it's a fresh slate, and we know we have to keep doing us, keep improving, watch out for these other teams, and, you know, do our best to show up and show out in Sweden.
Man, your brain needs a break, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. What I am going to do, though, is again, tradition. You guys won it. You took the Fall Classic. It's the first win in RLCS tournament in a while for you guys. So any words you want to get out there, because you haven't had the stage in a bit. So it's all yours to shout out.
I mean, first of all, thank you to G2. They've been supporting us the entire way. The G2 fans, my family. Like, I get group chats, texts every time. Like, last time we got second, so proud. But now we actually won. And it just feels so good when you get that support. And then the fans, my teammates, like, there was not a second where I thought, like, we're just going to crumble. So shout out to, like, Jazo, JNAP, Strees, Sathu, crazy new, like, head coach that's helping us. And just shout out to, like, literally everyone. I appreciate everyone for watching and supporting.
Literally everyone gets a shout out. I love it.
Except for those couple people on Reddit that have my head on
there you go.
No, they don't get it.
Good call. Fair call there. Chicago, thank you so much. And once again, congratulations on the win here in that second seed.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.